This is Robert Mardlacci, the Mindshare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine. And welcome to This Week in Canadian EdTech special edition as we're here at ISTE2022 in New Orleans. And it's the first ISTE in about 3 years. And I'm honored to have a Mindshare Learning moment with Aimee Bloom, who is the coordinator of instructional technology, Erie 1 BOCES in West Seneca, New York. And Schneider, who is the integration specialist at Avon Central School District, Avon, New York. Thank you for joining me, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, and I thought, what better people to speak with at a professional learning conference than the ISTE certified experts, and to perhaps share your journey and talk to us about that experience. It was mission critical. You were mission critical. Innovation was not an option. Who would have imagined 100% of educators using some form of tech-infused pedagogy? Congratulations on sustaining learning, and talk to us about that journey and inspiring others to perhaps embrace that growth mindset to get ISTE certified.
Yes, so my journey actually began a couple years ago. As recently stated, I work for Erie 1 BOCES now, but at the time I was at Erie 2, and I had caught wind about this certification process. And what I value about this, becoming an ISTE certified educator and then eventually going into the trainer, is that unlike typical professional development where you're just sitting and getting, this type of professional development, you're exemplifying what you have learned. You're diving really deep into those into the standards, and you're stretching your practice, and you're now looking at pedagogy and the way you perhaps do your instructional practices a little bit differently. So it's not just about the technology, you're shifting your own practice. That's what I value about it.
Amazing. Tara.
So my journey also started a couple years ago when I was told I got to check out the ISTE Certified Educator certification, and so I started that journey. And just like Aimee had said, it was one that really changed my practice. It wasn't that sit and get. It wasn't focused on a typical tool or any type of tool. It was really focused on me and changing my practice and improving what I'm doing with the integration of technology and the impact that it's having on all the students and now adult educators that I get to work with.
That's amazing. And it is about the students, and it is about storytelling. So perhaps you can share a story, a success story, if you will. I know there's many through the pandemic, and then we'll talk about sustaining learning.
I think what was really successful for me in terms of the pandemic was that I was able to hone in at social emotional learning for adults. So I've been working with adult learners for the last 5 or 6 years, and what I did is I provided open office hours for my educators to come in and Zoom. And it used to be, hey, do you need help with something, or I can give you a quick tool or tidbit. But before I knew it, we were coming in together, and it was a good moment to connect to another human. And, some people were coming in every single day and just expressing their joy because some individuals were alone. While we're all in our houses with our families, right, there were a number of individuals who were alone in solidarity. So I think that the power of connection, and I think people understood that during the pandemic, it went way beyond the tool and more about the human capacity and embracing that.
Well said. I love it. There's some deep thinking that went on there, and it is about community and sharing. So, Tara, talk to me about how the students fared in this equation. And there were a lot of positives that came out of it, and kids, project-based learning, independent learning, embracing problem-solving skills. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. At the time when everything closed down, we were all at home. I was still in the classroom. I was a 4th grade teacher in the classroom, and it was great because I had already been doing a lot of things as a result of the ISTE certification in the changes in my practice. And so it was that next level of, okay, now, even though we're not together in a classroom, getting my kids to still embrace that learning and continue to grow with their learning. But then I was also finding experts around that I could connect with my students through Zoom and things like that, so that they could keep learning and have the excitement of that learning even though they were stuck at home.
That's awesome. So ISTE certification is a process, and it's a journey, and you really want to plan ahead and weave it into your work.
Yes.
From what I gather. So talk to me about that process if an educator wants to dip their toe in. And not everyone has the time at the moment perhaps, but they can start. It's about starting the journey.
Yes. So it is approximately 14 weeks. You meet 5 times synchronously through that learning session. So the first 14 weeks is an online course, and then you move into the portfolio phase from there. Where you do is you dive really deep into those standards, and you look at it through the lens of the ISTE educator standards, regardless of your role. So, for example, I was a professional development specialist when I was going through the process, and my learners were therefore my students were adults, and those were my subset of learners. So you're able to look at it through a variety of angles. So, if you're an administrator, I've worked with administrators through this process, as well as teachers, library media specialists. So you really get to take the scope of what you're doing and apply it in that kind of nature.
Awesome. Tara, your journey, your process in getting here, and you're volunteering. And it's so important to give back. As an alumnus of my university, I started our alumni chapter. I'm still very involved. The professional learning you experience being part of the community is so powerful. And it's so you were at the professional learning kiosk there, and talk to me about what it's been like to be here, right, as an educator, as a leader, and the learning behind that.
Yeah, it's been amazing to be here. From the perspective of being a trainer, it's been so amazing to finally see some of my learners that are here in person, and just talking with them about their journey and just having that connection here with them. Just being here, selfishly, the learning that I've been able to do and connect with like-minded people all around me, there's just that excitement and great feeling.
And the informal learning, thank you for that. It's the connection. We studied the movie documentary Comedian, and I happened to meet Jerry Seinfeld on my way to graduation. I told him we studied his movie documentary from a learning theories perspective. How powerful is this to reconnect?
I have to say that this is one of my first conferences since the pandemic, so to be able to meet someone that you have been working with for the last couple of months and face-to-face, and that power of connection, and just understanding that there's experts out there that you can collaborate with, and really just I can't even express enough about the power of connections and being together and community, and that's what ISTE does. It brings people together.
Amazing. And now you're instructors. You're supporting others who want to get certified. How cool is that? And what's the response been like from some of the? I think there's well over 10,000 teachers, leaders here.
People are excited. They want to know, and then they're excited to start that journey. I think maybe a little bit of nervousness, but really excited.
Well, the both of you exude such passion and enthusiasm, and I think that's so important, right?
Yes.
Whether it's amongst peers or with the students. I mean, when I talk to startups, and we nurture a lot of startups, and I explain to startups, if solve a real problem. It's very relatable to education. I'm thinking of creating a product called Startup Kids, because back in Canada, one of the educator teams, they team teach grades 4 to 6, and they start up companies over 2 months, and then they have a showcase, and they infuse all the curriculum expectations and outcomes through the process, and the learning is so powerful, right? It's that project-based teamwork, etc. And I think it's so exciting to for you to be part of this journey, and I'm grateful of the time that you've taken today as ISTE certified trainers. Aimee and Tara, thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Aimee Bloom from Erie BOCES 1 and Tara Schneider of Avon Central School District, who are ISTE certified trainers here, sharing their story at ISTE2022 in New Orleans. My name is Robert Merlacci, the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare Learning to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.